Hi, this is Billy Silegane, the founder and president of Global Conference Television. We are here at the Zebra Lodge out in the bush at the Professional Speakers of Southern Africa's National Convention. And I'm here with a man that I respect very much, that I've learned so much from. I call him my good doctor. I'm here with Dr. Graeme Condrignton, who's the CEO of a global think tank called Tomorrow Today. Am I right?
Absolutely, Billy. Thank
Graeme,
you.
what an honor and a privilege to share this day with you. Now, our viewers don't know who you are. You are a world-famous man in our world and in the world of people that you help to make very strategic decisions to impact their companies. Just in a small kind of way, tell us what you do.
So I work with mainly large corporations, multinationals, helping them to understand the future, how the future is going to be different from today, and where disruptive change is coming from. What are some of the forces that are going to change their industry, change their business in the next few years? And we help them prepare for that and get ready for it.
Absolutely. But what's fascinating about you is you have earned 5 degrees. So you're a really smart guy. And most people who've got 5 degrees are not as sharp. They are very intelligent but not sharp. We don't want to hear them say anything. They can write their papers, but you're transitioning from almost like an academic background without really saying you are, into a place where it's a mixture between education and showbiz. Because no matter how great you are with content, if you get there, go slide number 4, slide number 6, you're killing people. But you have transitioned and you've created this amazing brand that you're seen as a big thinker but a great content deliverer on stage. How did you do that?
I suppose about 20 years ago when I started my career, I just went on training courses. I started at KPMG as a young accountant, went on training courses and really just, they were horrible because they were boring. The information was useful and valuable, but the packaging was just pathetic. I come from a family of teachers. My father's a teacher, my sister's a teacher, 2 of my aunts have even started schools. So I have it in my blood maybe that I don't just want to learn information, I want to share information. And part of sharing information is putting it into a way that people understand. And I think more and more these days, it has to be done in a way that also entertains people. So it grabs their attention, gives them the information they need, and changes their lives.
And the fascinating thing is you have latched on into 2 worlds, literally. The world of disruption, but this world is largely driven by technology. So not only are we talking about gadgets that are coming up, we're talking about human behavior, how organizations engage their employees. How did you get to mesh these 2 worlds so smartly?
So I started as an accountant, but in the early 1990s with technology, got very, very interested in how technology was changing the world and realized very quickly that it wasn't just technology, it was the way people used technology. So I actually ended up then studying a master's in sociology. So a lot of it was trying to match both the technology and the understanding of people and putting those together. But it's more than just academic study. It's more a curiosity of the world around me. And I think the 2 big things happening in the world right now are technology advances and the way in which people are changing. And so for me, I'm just a student of the world, really. And I basically lend people my eyes and allow them to see what I can see. And people have found that interesting. Absolutely.
Now, as a speaker, we've traveled this journey together. We have grown. We belong to the same mastermind group. Now, you left the country. You spent some time in London. And now you're back in South Africa, but you have become an international superstar. You travel to over 23 countries every year. You know, I watch your post from first class to a very small little economy class because there was no first class available and because you had to get where you're going. Now, if I were to get you to meet a young upcoming speaker who's probably an expert in some subject and they say, I want to go global, you know, how would you advise them to do that?
Sure. I think there are 3 things. I think the first thing is you have to realize that if you are not close to a superstar in your own country already, you're going to battle on the international stage. You know, whatever country you're from, you need to really be as good as you can possibly be in that country. If you're not getting recognized in your own country, you're not yet ready for the big global stage. Part of getting ready is going out. So I'm not saying people mustn't try. You must try and accept invitations where you can. But to be truly successful internationally, you have to be at an international level. You might be a big player in a small pond, but global is a big pond. So the first thing is just focus on getting better and better and better, and history will be kind to you if you're good.
Absolutely.
The second thing that you need to do is look for clients. And there that's asking the question from the other way around that speakers often look. It's asking not what am I good at and what am I good at saying. It's asking who will pay me for what I'm doing. And a lot of speakers, this in my mind distinguishes this from being a hobby or from being even a crusade or a passion and a business. And for me, there are a lot of speakers, too many speakers, who are on a crusade, they're on a passion. They've got something they have to tell the world. Fantastic, and I wish them well for their hobby. But if they have a business, then the question has to be, who are my customers? And the customers are the people who will pay to hear you. And so people who will pay to hear you are people who have a problem that you can solve. That's as simple as it is, really. You've got to ask, what is the problem that I can solve? Who has that problem, and how much is it costing them? And as soon as you've got an answer to that question, and there are lots of problems, there are thousands of problems in the world. There's problems with talent, and problems with technology, and problems with health and wellness, and problems with organizational design, and problems with manufacturing and suppliers and sales. And so there's no limit to the problems, but I hope you see the mindset I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And so you then have to ask, so the second thing is about what problem am I solving, and how can I get people in other parts of the world
The same problem.
to know that I'm the solution? So, and why would you be the solution? Why you? Why would I fly somebody from the other side of the world to come and give me that solution if there's a guy just next door who can do it? And that answer is going to be different for every person, but that's the right question.
Wow.
And then I think the third thing is that you have to build your profile with international in mind. If I come to your profile and your profile is billyselekani.co.za, now I know you're a South African speaker.
Absolutely.
It's .com, surely.
And I mean, you know, it's fascinating.
And then,
My first registered website was a .com.
exactly.
And it was like long ago, and people used to say
Yeah.
to me, "Are you American?"
Yes.
You know, and it depends who asked the question and what the intention of my answer would be, you know.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating that
Yeah.
that little thing, that positioning makes a big difference.
Exactly. Now look, there's no problem having a .co.za website, maybe as well as a .com. Also no problem positioning yourself as a South African. Nelson Mandela could easily have nelsonmandela.co.za. We know he's South African.
Absolutely.
That's his positioning. So it's not so much the address, it's the mindset. Am I international? If somebody asks me to quote, what are your rates? Do you quote in dollars? Do you think in dollars? And do you think global? Are your examples global? There's no use going to New York and speaking about your local country's examples.
Say, for in case in Durban, and the thing, what
Exactly.
is Durban?
Even where is that? Or what? You know, you've got to think, have I got global relevance? And global relevance starts with global mindsets.
Absolutely.
So those would be the three things. Maybe there's a fourth thing.
Okay.
Just do it. Just do it.
Nike way. Just do it. Don't overplan. You know, in Afrikaans they say, "Mense gaan dood oor ordentlikheid." You want to be so meticulous. By the time it's fixed, it's right, the world has gone past you.
Yeah.
Now, you write quite a lot. Your LinkedIn is very cool, your blog. Do you write all these things yourself, or do you have a team behind you that writes some of the stuff?
I have a team behind me that does some of the research for me.
Okay.
So I have a team who will find things for me. They'll send me things. But no, you've asked me a direct question. I do every single piece of writing.
Wow.
And I have an editor who looks over it, just make sure there's no spelling mistakes and so on. But no, that's part of what I'm doing when I'm sitting up at the front of the plane. I don't watch the movies. I'm working.
Cool. That's amazing. Now, the truth is, most of our audience are either professional speakers, guys that aspire to become speakers, or people that are working and they are in transition to become speakers. In our parting shots, what are the 3 first steps for somebody who's transitioned from either being a CEO or a managing director, who's got vast knowledge and expertise, who now wants to branch into the speaking industry? Just give us the 3 things that you believe they should be doing immediately to prepare themselves for that world.
So 3 things to get yourself going. I've already mentioned the first thing, and that is to know who your customers are. Be very clear about what problem you are solving, and be very clear about who will pay you to have that problem solved. The higher up the ranks that person is, the better. The bigger the organization they're from, the better. But of course, you could have whatever focus you want to, as long as you know what problem you're solving. The second thing you need to do is you need to get your name out there. Now, if you already have a name, that's a great start. You might have been a CEO, people might know your CV, but now you've got to position yourself as a consultant, as an expert, as someone who speaks. Now, listen to what I've just said. I haven't said position yourself as a speaker. I've said position yourself as an expert, as a consultant, and that you use speaking as a way to deliver your value. How do you position yourself? You must have your own website. You must be writing blogs. You must be giving some of your content away so people can see you and people are able to know what value they're going to get from you. And then the last thing that you need to do is make sure that you get people to see you presenting. If you want to become a public speaker, you need to speak publicly. And even though you might have been successful in another career, you are going to have to do some of your presentations in a way that gets you in front of people, that gets you, say, speaking at an association. Maybe they won't pay you for that presentation, but the exposure that you will have will be remarkable. So get yourself out there, get speaking, and get in front of crowds.